Hello everybody, welcome to my Explain Everything tutorial, where you will learn the basics and how to use Explain Everything. So let's jump right into it. So once you open the app, you will notice 5 icons on the top of the screen. The first icon lets you choose from 4 color templates, and as you can see, in each of those color templates are 3 colors. Now those colors are the colors that you can choose from, as you can see in the bottom left corner. So that is the first icon that you see when you open Explain Everything. The second icon on the top lets you select a new project from your images, your iTunes, your Dropbox, your Google Drive, and more. If you want to select a new project from your images, you select it and you press done, and now you can write on it. You could add shapes, you could add text boxes, you could insert objects that I'll talk about later. But it doesn't always have to be photos. It could also be presentations as shown here. So it's an exact copy of your presentation, except it's on an iPad, and it's much easier to navigate, and it's much easier for your students, and it's less tedious for you. The third button that you can see allows you to export your projects into different places such as YouTube, your camera roll, your Dropbox, your Google Drive, and more. Now I won't show it to you now because exporting can take long times to upload when it is a big file. Now the fourth and the fifth icons on the top are the settings and information about Explain Everything. Now the settings are your personal preference because if you want calligraphy or ink as your drawing style, it's basically yours to choose. Now I won't be showing to you now because it's kind of yours to explore. And the last button is basically the welcome guide, help, tutorials, and all of that stuff on Explain Everything. And now you have now finished the home screen for Explain Everything. Now after you set your settings and you chose your template, you should go to a screen like this. The first icon lets you move around what you wrote with a pencil, depending on how many fingers you press down on the screen. Now, one finger allows you to just move whatever you wrote, but if you place down 2 fingers, you can rotate and resize whatever you wrote. Let's just place that on the side. The second one, as I demonstrated earlier, is a pencil. You could write whatever you want on it, and you can change the width by double clicking the pencil and changing it to whatever you feel like is the appropriate size. Now you could also make it so it's auto grouped or not, so that is your decision. The third icon is lets you make shapes. So if you want a circle, if you want a square, if you want a star, and you could also change it so that it has a shadow or the borders are big or small, or if it's auto grouped or not. The fourth icon lets you create a text box. You could type in it, you could change the alignment as you can see right above the keyboard. You can make it bold or underlined, and you could resize it using the blue circle with the arrows in it to make it bigger or smaller. Or you could double click the A to change the font and the font size, if it has a border or not, or if it's auto grouped. So those are the first 4 icons that you can see once you create a template and Explain Everything. Now as for the rest of the icons in the sidebar, the fifth one lets you insert an object using your existing photos or videos, your file, new picture, new video, existing sound, or new browser. Now for this tutorial, I will just be inserting a photo to show you guys. So this is a photo. What's neat is even if before you put it on the project, it lets you edit the image. So maybe if you want to cut it, if you want to crop it, if you want to move it, it lets you do that before you actually put it on the project, which is neat. But it doesn't always have to be an image. It could also be a video, but I don't have a video clip for you guys today. So yes, so moving on, this one lets you delete objects. So I'm gonna delete this text box here because it's just gibberish. But if you're on the pencil, it will switch to an eraser. So let me just write something down here. It lets you erase what you wrote down, and if you double click it, it lets you change the size of the eraser. So it's pretty neat. The next one is a pointer. It can be various types of pointers. So this one's like a PC pointer. You could change it to a laser pointing device, maybe so it's easier for your students to pinpoint what you're pointing at on the screen. And to change it, you just double tap it. The next one is a editor. So it can do multiple things such as lock, rotate. You could lock horizontal, lock vertical. You could edit it so that it groups or ungroups. So you could copy, paste, duplicate it. It's such things as that. I will show you the grouping. So if I pick two objects, if I put this down, pick those objects, and I press ungroup, group I meant, and now I move them, they will all move the same when I move them with the first icon. Moving on, this is undo and redo button, pretty simple. And the next one is lets you move the screen by double tapping it, and the last icon lets you it's a minimizer of the icons in the whole screen. So you still have your pointer, you still have the pencil and such, but it adds this new feature. Let me just add a new uh, tab here. It lets you see all the slides that you put on the project, and you could move forward and move back. You could add more slides, and to go back you just press the button again and you'll see this whole thing. And the very bottom left corner, it is those are the colors that come with the template. So the black, the blue, and the red that come with this white template, and those are the rest of the icons. As for the bottom icons, they provide a much cooler features. Um, for the first couple of icons, the you could choose from the slides that you want to change. You could change the templates, and or if you hold one of the slides, you could delete it by pressing the X, or you could select a another background for the slide, so maybe black. And right next to it, you could add more slides. You could go right or left. And this one's a cool feature. It lets you record yourself when you're talking. So maybe when you're uh, teaching a lesson, maybe you could record yourself and you'll show this to your students so you don't have to talk and you just let the video talk for you. So if you hear it again, yourself when you're talking, so maybe you can hear me, but it's really low. You're gonna have to increase the volume later on. And what's a really cool feature is you could animate with this. So using one of the shapes like this circle, I could record, and I'll just move this one, and then when I play it back again, so maybe and I could see that the circle moved. Now this is a really simple, very simple animation. You could add more complex ones, but I won't show it to you here because this will make this tutorial much way longer than I want it to be. So moving on, this one allows you to look at a detailed timeline of your animations and your recordings and such. So you could move back to wherever you need to. You could see if you messed up or if you like wanna um, do it again. And right next to it, you could start a new recording or it's mixed in with the existing one, whichever you choose. And as for the last four icons, those are the exporting of your images or your movie based on if you recorded it or it's a still image. As I explained earlier, you could export it to YouTube, Dropbox, and etc. for your students to see, or your camera roll if it's an image, to your iBooks and more. And the second to the last icon lets you save your project. So you could even rename it if you want and export it to wherever you want. And last icon lets you go back to the home screen. So this has been the tutorial for Explain Everything. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something out of this, because I certainly have. So yes, those are the ropes. I hope you guys enjoyed, and goodbye.